Hello everyone, my name is Igor. Today we're trading with the binary options broker Quotex with an expiration time of 5 minutes and a bet amount of $25. We'll be looking for support and resistance levels and opening trades from those points. Let's take a look at what's happening on the charts, see where we can open a trade and place our first trade. I can already see it, euro dollar, a trade for a decrease, 5-minute chart, the zone. The resistance zone is clearly visible. There have been many reversals from this zone. Right now, the price reached this zone on an impulse, so I'm opening a reversal trade. Right here, I'm initiating a new trading position on the Canadian dollar and Japanese yen. Actually, I can open a trade for a potential price increase. Why not? There is a support zone visible, though it is certainly not the most dependable one at this moment. In fact, the price has dropped lower before, but in this case, we also have a zone from which we can open a trade. At the very least, that is simply what I am planning to do. I don't know if you would choose to do the same, but I have decided to take this risk. Dollar Canadian dollar, trade for an increase. Here, there's a really good support resistance zone, an early support zone after breaking through the resistance zone. Now, once again, the price has broken through this zone, returned to it, and will most likely go higher. A trade for an increase. I'm opening it here. Australian dollar, US dollar, trade for a decrease. Resistance zone. It's all simple here. We look at the peaks. Basically, they're all right around the same price level, more or less. And I'm initiating a new trading position for a decrease here. Alright, we're opening a trade here as well. British pound, US dollar. It's exactly the same situation. We also look at the peaks, and we see that everywhere. The price has turned downward from about the same zone. A trade for a decrease. Let's see what else we have. By the way, Euro British pound is probably worth opening for an increase. Why do I think so? Because British pound US dollar, we have a trade for a decrease there. There's a good signal that the price will fall, so accordingly, on the Euro British pound, the situation will most likely be completely the opposite. Well, we do have a zone here, but it's a bit weak. Here, it's clearly visible, but further on, not so much. So here you can still see something like there was some kind of reversal. But in this section, of course, the price was moving down and up, and the zone was always there. This one kept getting broken through. There's no consistent price movement, but in this case, as I already mentioned, I'm primarily relying on another asset, meaning the correlation between assets. And sometimes that works. So basically, 6 trades. We've opened them, so let's see what's working out and what isn't. Euro dollar is currently in the red. By the way, I could duplicate the trade, why not? The price has gone up a bit, but there are still 2 minutes left. Maybe the price will even have time to drop. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I'll also duplicate the trade for an increase. There are also 2 minutes left until the first trade closes. It's possible this trade will close at a loss. The drop was quite strong. Euro, British pound are currently in the green. Dollar, Canadian dollar are also slightly in the green for now, but the price has only increased a little. And British pound, US dollar, it's still not entirely clear yet. Most of the trades are in the red, but we'll see how they close. It's still too early to say. 8 trades are open. The euro-dollar exchange rate continues to climb against my initial market predictions. Well, you simply can't always make a profit, and to minimize risks, I maintain a strictly fixed wagering amount. So even if trades close at a loss and the trading session ends up being unprofitable, I still won't lose much. That's definitely a huge advantage. Euro-dollar. One trade will close at a loss in 5 seconds. And there are still 3 minutes left until the second trade closes. The price is still in the negative for now. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, 15 seconds until the upper trade closes. It's possible that both trades will close at a loss. Here's the forecast. Mine didn't come true at all. In other words, the price keeps falling. Well, basically yes, this zone wasn't the strongest, of course. Just like I said when I opened the trade. Well, I was hoping at least the second trade would close in profit. But no, most likely not. Dollar, Canadian dollar. There was a confident entry point, the price rose sharply, and this is the first trade that will close in profit. So far, 2 trades have closed at a loss. The next trade we have, as I understand it, is the Australian dollar against the US dollar. Here, the price is currently in profit, but it's very close to the entry point. It's a risky situation. In fact, there isn't a confident price movement, but the trade is closing in profit. Overall, everything is fine. The British pound, the US dollar fell, the euro, the British pound rose, just as I said. The fact is, we have a correlation between assets, and for example, a drop in the British pound against the US dollar often leads to a rise in the euro against the British pound. But without a trade. Now it will close in profit. Well yes, here there was a good price increase. The price was practically never in the negative here. Everything is fine here. and we will have 2 trades left. These are the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen, which keeps falling. The forecast, as I mentioned here, was quite wrong. And the euro dollar? The euro dollar as well, of course. The final result of this trading session will likely depend on the success of this specific trade. If the trade closes in profit, there will be a small gain. If it's a loss, then accordingly there will be a loss. So let's see how the trades close. Basically, it looks like both trades will close at a loss. There won't be any profit today. 3 seconds left on the euro dollar. The price just doesn't have time to fall. Yes, and then at the end it even started to go up. And a similar situation with the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen. It's just that most likely there won't be quite enough time for the price to close the trade in profit. Yeah, in the end, 4 trades in profit, 4 trades in loss. So today we end up with a loss. We couldn't manage to come out ahead. But basically that's a normal part of trading. No one can always trade at a profit. If someone tells you otherwise, don't believe them. They're trying to deceive you. Everyone has losses. The only thing that matters is how much we lose during those losses. Well, in my case, I didn't lose that much. Although, of course, the results could have been better. If you're suddenly interested in how I find entry points based on support and resistance levels, you'll find links to educational materials in the description of this video. Everything is free, everything is open access, available to everyone. Just go in, read, and improve your trading skills. That's all from me, friends. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and leave comments. Wishing everyone successful trading. Goodbye to all.